That's right.
I can see. How about the rest?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so good afternoon to Miss Hammer and fellow friends. Today we'll be presenting on the differences between mitosis and cytokinesis.
What is mitosis? Mitosis is the division of a cell into two daughter cells. These two daughter cells are genetically identical to the parent cell. In cell biology, mitosis is a part of the cell cycle when replicated chromosomes are separated into two new nuclei. There's essentially four phases in the process of mitosis, which includes prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. What makes mitosis so important is the fact that it helps with genetic stability, growth replacement, and regeneration of new cells, and in sexual reproduction. So the four phases, phase one, prophase. One of the two centrioles in a cell moves to the opposite side of the cell, of the nucleus. The nucleus starts to disappear and spindle fibers is formed. Chromosomes in the nucleus shorten, thicken, and become clearly visible. Each chromosome consists of two chromatids, which are joined at centromeres. Chromatids are also known as sister chromatids individually. Phase 2, metaphase. Chromosomes are arranged at the equatorial plane. Chromosomes are attached to spindle fibers which are connected to the poles, as you can see in the diagram. Phase 3, which is anaphase. Centromere splits into two. Each chromatid separates and moves towards the opposite poles of the cell. And lastly, phase 4, which is telophase. Chromatids reach the opposite poles. Nuclear membrane and nucleolus are formed again. So this is the overall diagram of mitosis phases, from prophase to metaphase to anaphase and to telophase.
What is cytokinesis? Cytokinesis is the part of the cell division process during which the cytoplasm of a single eukaryotic cell, either animal or plant cell, divides equally into two daughter cells. The word cytokinesis uses combining forms of cyto, kine, and sis, New Latin from Classical Latin and Ancient Greek, reflecting cell, and kinesis, which is motion or movement, or as a whole, cytokinesis is cytoplasmic division. Cytokinesis begins during or after the late stages of nuclear division in mitosis and meiosis. Cytokinesis in animal cells and plant cells are different. Cytokinesis in animal cell. Cytokinesis begins shortly after the beginning of sister chromatid separation in the anaphase of mitosis. The plasma membrane at the equator of the cell constricts to form a cleavage furrow, which pinches inwards to divide the cytoplasm. The contractile ring of microfilaments that forms the cleavage furrow further constrict to divide the cell into two. As you can see in the diagram beside it, the cleavage furrow will constrict and will form the contractile ring and will divide one cytoplasm into two. As for plant cells, due to the presence of the cell wall, cytokinesis in plant cells is different from animal cells. Rather than forming a contractile ring, plant cells construct a cell plate in the middle of the cell. Vesicles from the Golgi apparatus gather at the equator of the cell between the two nuclei. The vesicle fills to form a cell plate, and the cell plate grows outwards until it fuses with the cell membrane and separates the parent cell into two daughter cells. And finally, it separates the cellular walls and forming both sides of the cell plate. So this is how cytokinesis works in animal cells and plant cells. Here are some pictures of cytokinesis.
Now we'll be moving on to the differences between mitosis and cytokinesis. So first of all, mitosis is the division of the nucleus of a cell, whereas cytokinesis is the division of the cytoplasm of a cell. And mitosis is more or less the same for eukaryotic cells. However, cytokinesis differs according to cell type. And mitosis occurs first before cytokinesis, whereas cytokinesis occurs after mitosis. And mitosis includes only karyokinesis, whereas cytokinesis includes cytoplasm division, which happens after karyokinesis. And mitosis produces two nuclei, and cytokinesis produces two cells that encloses the two nuclei. And mitosis separates only genetic material, whereas cytokinesis separates cell organelles and cytoplasm. And lastly, mitosis is divided into four major phases known as the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, explained by Sean. And cytokinesis exists single-handedly as one major phase only. So this is the video we have found, but it's the same as Team B's video yesterday. So you may refer to the video they've sent in the group. Thank you.
So any question from Team B members? Well, you can compare your content that you have presented yesterday to theirs today. Team A, do you have any questions to ask them, like quizzes or what?
Not really.
Okay, then we shall move on to Q&A section. All right. Basically, most of your contents slightly similar to Team B, slightly similar because they have like a little bit of slight research on other things, extra informations. Yours is what is required by the assigned task that I've assigned to you. Okay. All right. Okay. Now here's the thing to all of you. Whenever there's a questions, right? Please do not stick to this thing. Okay, let me remind you. When I say 46 chromosome, the 46 actually refers to only humans. It does not necessarily means that every other things on this planet will have 46, the diploid number, and 23 as the haploid number. If your diagram shows 4 chromosome, please follow 4 chromosome exactly on that way. Do not take simply anything like 46 chromosome and where's the 23. Please follow the diagram given. If the diagram has 8 chromosome, then it's 8. Follow the diagram. So that's the one thing that I would like to actually clarify to you on this thing, because most of you have this kind of like misconception that everything's are actually 46 chromosome. No, doesn't work that way. Okay. Okay. For mitosis, any other questions regarding mitosis that you are really not sure?
Oh yeah, Miss Hannah.
Yes.
Vanisha said she'll be late for today's extra class because she went out for lunch with her mom.
Okay, okay. No issues. Okay, any questions from you regarding mitosis? Now, if you realize one thing, right? Telophase and cytokinesis looks similar, right? The process looks similar. So can we say that telophase is equals to cytokinesis actually? What do you all think?
No.
Okay, why do you say no, Shamin?
Because cytokinesis is right after telophase. it's a
Okay, so what
different
happens at telophase?
telophase. The
What happens at telophase?
The chromosomes like lengthen and become chromatin threads again. And then they
Okay.
start to separate
Right.
into
Okay,
two
wait.
cells.
they separate to two.
Okay. Okay, they separate into two cells. So cytokinesis is also separation of cells, right? So isn't that mean that they are the same one actually?
Is it because in telophase they are like forming the things in the middle of it, and then in cytokinesis they are officially split apart?
Okay, all right. So you are there slightly. I mean, yes, telophase is actually a part of cytokinesis. Yes, you're right. Okay, let me differentiate for you how it actually goes. Cytokinesis is not telophase. That is very clear. Okay, how they are different is in telophase, basically the nucleus will divide first. Do you realize that the nucleus divide first and then followed by the cell division? Correct, right? For telophase. Did you all notice that?
Yes.
Okay, so basically at telophase, only nucleus will divide. Okay, when the nucleus has actually successfully divide, okay, so the nucleus will form back again. So it will become a complete nucleus, two different nucleus. And at the same timing, during the telophase, there will be an urge for the cytokinesis to take place. This is where for the cleavage furrow for animal cell and the cell plate will also occur simultaneously. Okay, it's like one after another. It doesn't wait for like, okay, wait, telophase has to end first, then cytokinesis has to come. No, it's like telophase and cytokinesis, they are together. But it's just that nuclear division will come first, which is the primary thing at the telophase, and it straight away follows by the cytokinesis, which is also part of telophase. Okay?
Wait, sure.
Mm.
In that case, can we say like cytokinesis is part of mitosis?
Right. Okay, cytokinesis is not really a part of mitosis because mitosis is the M phase, you know. Technically, we just take the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And basically, telophase only covers the nuclear division. It's just that telophase prolongs with cytokinesis. It's like coming together. So that is why even scientists have actually technically pronounced that M phase plus cytokinesis. It's not like the whole thing is M phase. Because not necessarily cytokinesis can successfully take place after every mitosis phase. Nuclear division can occur, but not necessarily cells can divide as well. Who knows, the cells fail to divide. That is why cytokinesis is not put together with the M phase, the telophase, all together with the telophase. Okay, now let's say I have a dragonfly right now. The dragonfly's intestine cell is 23. Okay, 23. Now, what will be the number of chromosome of the eye cell of the dragonfly? Would you like me to repeat my question?
23.
Okay, again, dragonfly's intestine cell has 23 chromosome. So my question is, what is the number of chromosome in dragonfly's eye cell? EYE, eye cell. What is the number of chromosome for eye cell then?
Is it 23?
23.
Yep, it's 23. Okay, why do you say it's 23?
are somatic cells.
Yeah, they are somatic cells and they are part of the diploid. That's why they carry diploid number. After mitosis, they will still carry diploid. Okay, now, okay, another question. Okay, the ovary of the female dragonfly carries 46 chromosome. Example, 46 chromosome. What will be the number of chromosome of the ovum? Dragonfly's ovary has 46 chromosome. So what will be the number of the ovum, chromosome of the ovum? Yes, 23, exactly. Now remember, the organ that produces the gametes, they will not have haploid number, they will have a diploid number, which means like if the ovum has 23, obviously the ovum producing organ, which is the ovary, should have double of it. Okay, the organ should not be haploid. The organ is diploid because they are considered somatic cell. It's just that when they undergo meiosis to produce the gametes like ovum or sperm, the sperm or ovum particularly will have half of its number. All right? Yes.
Then after the ovum and the sperm together, then it becomes 46, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Provided that they are of the same species. For example, human species, we know that sperm carries 23, ovum carries 23. That is why you get back the normal human being number 46. Now let's say if I take ovum of a human being 23 and a sperm of a dog, maybe 15 chromosome. So 15 plus 23, what do you get? 37 chromosomes. So that will be an abnormal case then of different species. Okay, thank you for sharing the screen. We'll go to the next task. You can stop sharing the screen. Okay, now we have successfully completed mitosis. So we have done with mitosis. So let's move on to it meiosis right now. You have already got a little bit knowledge of meiosis because technically you know meiosis is a process whereby gametes are being produced, sperm and ovum, and you know that it will make the number half of the parent cell. If the parent has 20, then the gamete should have 10. But technically, you need to know what happens in detail at each of the phases. Mitosis and meiosis share the same subphases, which means like if mitosis has PMAT, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, so do meiosis. Meiosis also has the PMAT. But however, for meiosis, it happens twice, which means the PMAT happens twice. Now to learn about this thing, why it happens twice and everything, I'm going to guide you on here. Okay, I have uploaded a lesson video earlier so that you can actually watch it on your own space. Okay, I'm sharing my screen here. So when you go back to our file here, it's still loading. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one file called chapter 6. When you click on this, I have uploaded a video on meiosis. So this is, I think, a lengthy video as well, a very long video, I think about 15 minutes. So please take your time to watch this video first, because you need to watch this video to understand meiosis, and we will quickly have a quick discussion how this is actually different with mitosis and how similar are both. Okay, so this is us right now. Watch.
Cher.
Yes.
Cher, I go toilet.
Okay. anyone has completed watching the video?
Me.
Me too.
Okay, so let me start with both of you. Okay, so Jasmine and Kid, right?
Yeah, sure, I'm done too.
Okay,
Yep.
Sean as well. So the Team A members has done it. So let me start with Team A. So Team A, what is the important key event in prophase 1, which is something that you don't find in mitosis just now, in prophase, normal prophase in mitosis?
Synapses.
Yes, the synapses, and also?
Crossing over.
Yep, exactly. That's what the highlight is. Okay. Now, what about metaphase 1, anaphase 1, and telophase 1? Does it like similar to whatever that you have learned for mitosis, the similar process?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. But however, you have to bear one thing in mind. Okay, let me share my screen to you. Okay, anaphase 1, right? We have one thing called homologous chromosome. Okay, what is the difference between anaphase 1 and anaphase in mitosis based on the screen here?
Anaphase is mitosis with like the sister chromatid only, but this one is as a
Yes,
whole homologous chromosome.
yes, exactly. You have to bear in mind that for anaphase 1 in meiosis, it is the chromosome that actually separates. But if you look at mitosis, it is the one chromosome where the centromere divides and the sister chromatids move to the other poles. You see? But here, the homologous chromosome separates. It's like the whole chromosome separates. The pair actually separates. Okay? Okay. All right. Next one. Okay. Now, what can you actually find out from here at the end here, telophase 1 and the normal telophase of mitosis? What is the difference?
Paired together.
Sorry?
Paired together.
No. This is telophase right now. The end of telophase 1. Telophase 1. Now, earlier we had how many chromosome was there? Okay, 4 chromosome, right? Can you see 4 chromosome inside the nucleus? 1, 2, 3, 4. But at the end, at telophase 1, it divides into 2 cells. And how many chromosomes do each of the cells have? Does each of the cells has?
2.
So what that actually means?
They have half of the parent cell.
It's haploid.
Yes, yes, exactly. They actually become half of the parent cell. But does this thing occurs in mitosis? I mean, like
Nope.
half of the chromosome, no, right? So this is technically another difference that you can find, spot out between meiosis and mitosis. Okay, how about prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, and telophase 2? Any similarities between mitosis and these 4 phases? Are they pretty much the same?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. As you can see, anaphase 2, sister chromatid separates. Yes, of course, for normal mitosis anaphase also, sister chromatid separates. So basically, meiosis 2 is pretty much slightly like 90% equals to mitosis stage, like everything. It's just the difference is the meiosis 1 here, because a lot of key events occurs. Now at the end over here, so what are these gametes actually? Does it means like one sperm and other 3 different cells? Or all of them are sperms actually?
All of them.
Yes, exactly. So which means like your testis, let's say testis cell, one testicle cell, when it divides through meiosis, it will produce 4 sperm one shot. One cell produces 4 sperm. So just imagine if you have millions of testicle cells, so 4 to the power root of blah blah blah. Okay, so that will be a lot more sperm cells. The same goes to the ovum. But don't you find it ironically different, because sperm cells, obviously it's obvious because there will be millions of sperm, but don't you find it like a bit different because every month a girl only menstruate once. When they menstruate, they only produces 1 ovum, but meiosis says that it produces 4 ovum. Correct, right? What do you all think?
Teacher,
Mm-hmm.
why is there 4 ohm?
Sorry?
Why is there 4 ohms? I thought
Because that's the rule of meiosis, because one cell technically will divide into four daughter cells. That is the rule of meiosis. Okay, that will occur for sperm, for ovum as well. Technically, yes, 4 ovums being produced, but what we are having right now in real situation is we just ovulate once, which means we only produce 1 ovum every month, and that is why we have undergo menstruation. What happened to the rest of the 3? Don't you find it like it's quite contradicting to the theory of meiosis? What you all say? What happened to the rest 3? Or it is being saved for the next month, is it? In the storage box? What do you all think? Now this is a challenging question as well. It is a K-BUT question, you know. This is how you relate meiosis to reproduction system actually.
Miss Hema,
Yes, YK.
for meiosis, it's producing like continuously or just once.
Continuously. This
All
is
of
just
the
one
daughter cells.
cell dividing into 4. It's continuous. So as for sperm cell, there shouldn't be a problem if it's continuously dividing, because we know there will be lots of sperm cells. But we know one thing, a woman menstruate once in a month and they ovulate once, which means ovulate one means they produce 1 ovum. And meiosis says there are 4 ovums being produced at one time of meiosis. So what happened to the rest 3? That's the question.
not sure.
Not sure. What do you think happened to the rest 3? Do they just die? Or they become something else? Maybe? Shamin, what do you think? Probably Shamin is just watching. Okay, how about you, Jasmine? What do you think?
No idea, Cha.
Nabil, have you finished watching this?
The video?
Yes.
Yes.
So what do you think? What happened to the rest of the ovum?
I think they die.
You mean like the meiosis happens for production of ovum for nothing, is it? It's just like for the one quality ovum, the three of them have to come up, pop up, and then like the babies are born and then they just die like that. Is that really? What happened to the rest of the ovum?
I'm not sure.
This is something that you need to find out, okay? Try to find out. Okay, why don't you take, sorry?
4 babies.
You mean like 4 babies?
Yeah, in one stomach.
Okay, hold on. You mean like, okay, wait. I come back to the question again. Okay, there's no chances for you to produce 4 ovum one shot every month, you know? Because you only ovulate once, which means you produce 1 ovum. But according to the theory of meiosis, you are supposed to produce 4 ovum. So what happens to the 3 ovum when you were actually going to ovulate and menstruate? That's the question. Okay, I give you 2 minutes of time. Try to Google and find out and share your answers to me. Any idea, anyone?
They release one by one.
They release one by one, okay. Right. Okay, what about the rest?
And does it make siblings?
Okay, they make siblings, okay. Right. Okay, the rest? Okay, let me share it to you. What actually happens, okay? Now, this is interconnected to your chapter 15 actually. Chapter 15, you will be learning about reproduction. Okay, so this is highly connected to chapter 15 about reproduction cycle, where you learn about the formation of ovum in detail. So let me give you a brief idea what happens. Okay, can you all see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay, now it's true that 4 ovums are being produced for meiosis. Okay, hold on. Okay, these 4 ovums are still inside the ovary. Okay, remember before your menstruation and ovulation supposed to occur. Ovulation means the release of ovum. What happened is in between these 4, right? One will get matured. So let's say this one get matured first. Okay, this one gets matured first. So the matured one will be released first. So when they are released, right? So the 3 others will become dormant. Dormant means they will just stay inactive. They will just sleep. So the matured one will be released through the process called ovulation, the release of the ovum. It will come out of the ovary to the fallopian tube, and then it will wait for the sperm to come and fuse with it. Well, when the sperm does not come and fuse with the ovum, obviously the ovum will get depressed and will go into suicidal mode. When the ovum suicide, this is the time when the all other buildings will break off and period will occur, the menstruation.
Teacher,
Yes.
then how about the 3 ovum?
Okay, the 3 ovum, which is dormant, which means like you have matured, become matured, you will get released first. The 3 of them will wait for their turn for the next month. So technically, just imagine that doesn't mean that every month you only produce 4 ovum. No. The meiosis process is continuous, which means like, let's say, imagine that every day you are producing 4 ovums, 4 ovums, and 4 ovums. And in a month, only one which gets matured faster will be released. The other one will stay in the ovary storage box and wait for it to get released one by one. So can you see that how many ovums have you collected in the ovary? And this actually one thing that is very bad, when you have a lot of collected ovums, right? And when the ovums are still in dormant state, they don't die naturally, they actually clump together to become a mass ball of cancer cells. So that is why something called ovarian cancer also occurs. Okay? Yep.
It means we have more than 4 ovums in our body.
Yes, technically, from the day 1 of your puberty until up to now, you have collected many right now. You only think that you only produce once. You know why you think that you only produce once? Because ovulation only releases 1 ovum. But technically, your ovary has lots of ovum inside there, which is sleeping. The ones that get matured will be released. Now, in cases that sometimes there is a case that, have you ever experienced that there's one moment that you miss period for 1 month, like suddenly it doesn't come and skip, and then the next month you get it? Have you ever experienced that? Anyone? We only have 3 girls or 4 girls over here. Okay, right. Maybe out of 4, maybe none. Maybe the rest. Okay. This actually common in girls actually. Maybe there are times that you may not experience period for the particular month, and then the next month you get it. You know why you don't have it during that month? Because there is no matured ovum to be released. So there's no matured ovum, there'll be no ovulation. And when there's no ovulation, the ovum is not released, so there'll be no suicidal mode and there'll be no period. That is why you skip the period actually. Okay,
Sure.
there are times yes.
Is this what causes that? Not the that disease, the polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yes, exactly. POCD, polycystic
okay.
ovarian. Yes, that's the one. Because you have too much of what they call ovums inside, but none of them are matured. So that is why it clumps together inside, and this is why your hormones get haywire as well. And there are some times that you get a period twice in a month. You know why? Because the first matured ovum has been released, done, but there's another one who's waiting and already come out as well. So no choice. The period after 1 week after that, you'll still get your period again. So don't get surprised. So coming back to the question, is this normal? I mean, like to get like these skip periods and also like having periods twice in a month. Is this normal? What do you all think? Is it normal to have that, or it is like a dangerous situation?
Normal.
Well, if you have it like once in a blue moon, it's called normal because you don't have it like every month. But if you have a symptom which is like frequent, like you can see the pattern like recurring many times, like after 3 months like that, you are having these symptoms. That means there's something wrong with your ovary system. You need to get checked because this could be either cancer or, as mentioned earlier, the POCD, polycystic ovarian cancer syndrome, or some kind of like hormonal syndrome. So those are the things that can affect ladies actually. So I have given a little bit intro on the reproductions actually, little bit slightly. So for reproductions, you will learn for both male and female. Okay, male part there will be production of sperm from testes to how it become a sperm. Okay, but there will be more parts on female because you will be learning about menstrual cycle and also how the ovum is being produced and what happens in the cases that the ovum is being produced twice, how to produce twin babies and so on. So this is quite interesting as well. Okay, any questions for meiosis? Any questions for meiosis?
Miss Emma,
Yes, Waikit.
I want to ask, like, for male, we have both paternal and maternal chromosomes, is it?
Yes,
And for female also.
yes. All of you will have chromosomes from your father and mother. Basically, it's a mix.
But sperm carries a paternal, is it?
Well, sperm technically carries a paternal, but doesn't mean paternal means like your father's one, you know, like the chromosome from your father. Paternal here refers to yourself as a male. But who knows, the gene, the chromosome that the sperm is carrying is the mixture of little bit segments from your mother and the father. Remember the crossing over?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So when crossing over occurs, right? So this is where the gene from your mother can be passed on to your children. Okay. Right. So go through the lesson videos again if you would like to have more things to understand better about meiosis. Okay. So we shall meet tomorrow again. That will be the last part of chapter 6. Okay. What happens in the case of things go wrong, mutations. Okay. That's what we're going to learn tomorrow actually. Okay. All right. All right. If there's no more questions and nothing, so we just conclude for now, and I'll see you tomorrow at the same timing. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
All right. Bye
Thank you, Miss
bye.
Emma.
Thank you,
Bye,
Joe.
Joe.
Thank you, Miss
Okay,
Emma.
bye bye.
Gotcha.
Bye.